Hello, readers by eyes and by ears. This is Mari Chan, and welcome back to my channel. So today is another important updates day. I feel like it's been a long time since I've given you guys one, but it's about that time to clarify some things because we just did a live this past Saturday, and there were some things that we discussed that I thought about, looked up, and all that jazz, and I just want to talk about those things so you guys can know what's going on. So the first thing I want to talk about is when we were doing the live session, one of the things mentioned was instead of just doing a massive, my favorite aspects about this series or that Dame series, we're going to break it up for each book. So we'll be focusing on like a summary and analysis and discussion of every book, and it's going to be live. And then after we do that, once we get to the last book, we'll do a my favorite aspects, but hopefully with that, it could be a lot shorter, a lot more condensed. But this is just a way for us to engage with each other more and just have a more active and exciting community, a Dame community. And so with that being said, I realized that some things were not going to mesh well together. And that specific thing is the timing. Because on my Patreon, one of the perks was getting everything a week in advance. You know, like the Remnants of Filth is coming out tomorrow. Yay! And you guys would be getting it on YouTube on the 11th. And I was like, well, by the time I do a live session of my favorite aspects, it would either be before the YouTubers are done reading the first volume, or it would be a week after we've already started the reading of the second volume. And I just didn't like that. So what I decided to do is instead of doing a week in advance for the Patreon page, it's going to be 48 hours in advance that you get all of the recordings. That way everything can match up better. And when we do the live sessions together on the discussions and analysis, everybody will be up to date, or everybody should be up to date. So that would make life a lot easier. And at first I was thinking, okay, well, since I kind of took down that time, is there something else I need to do for the Patreoners, even though you're still getting time in advance compared to the YouTubers? And I was like, I mean, technically the fact that you're getting stuff in advance, you're getting the smut content, and you're getting live readings, that's already pretty good for $3 a month. Nevertheless, I'm still always trying to think of, okay, what can I do? You know, that's just a little bit extra. So something that one person had asked, and I said I would consider it for my Patreon, is I'm gonna go ahead. It's gonna be over some months, you guys. So it's not all just gonna be there immediately. I am going to go ahead and download all of my YouTube readings onto the Patreon as MP3 files. That way you all can download them if you would like to. That was a request from a couple of people, and I heard it and I was like, you know, I'll consider it. But then when I thought about it, I was like, it's not going to be that difficult. I don't have all those files saved, which means I have to download them from YouTube once again and all that crap, but that's totally fine. And then something that I discovered on Patreon, which is actually great because someone asked me to do Spotify as well. And I was like, no, because I don't want to be trying to dip my toe into too many platforms, overwhelm myself, burn myself out. Well, if I turn the videos into a podcast on there, just label it as a podcast, they have an option where you guys can automatically sync up and it'll put it on Spotify for me or something like that. And you can find it yourself and then listen to it on Spotify. I was like, oh, well, that makes my life a lot easier. So for those of you who subscribe to my Patreon, you will have the ability to find Mari Chan Dame stuff on Spotify. And again, download it if you just want to listen to it instead of having the video up. So that's another thing. The next thing is a couple of people, Rumi specifically, I remember you, were like, please do Discord. And I said that I would look into it and at least see what it was, especially after you told me that I don't have to engage in the channel, like in the Discord at all. So I did look into it, and it honestly looks like an amazing tool to use as far as, I think, even more detailed than something like the YouTube community or even the Patreon community, because apparently you can make many different like pages within the Discord. So there could be pages for specific Danmei series rather than everything just like all Danmei everywhere, all over the place. And there could be certain discussions just within those specific areas. Now, while that does sound really cool, Right now, it's just still a lot as far as setting it up, figuring out how I'm going to word the welcome, what kind of rules I'm going to create. And then as this community grows, because you guys, we're almost at 800 subscribers and it's only going to keep growing from there. That's going to be a lot for me to try to moderate. Now, I did see that they do allow for Discord creators to have moderators, which I think is absolutely amazing because that would be very helpful. But I don't know you guys well enough just yet, or I don't watch you guys well enough yet. And so I'm like, I don't even have people that I would be like, okay, I think you could be a moderator. I think you could be a moderator. And so I just want to kind of take time on that. Observe how you all interact within the comments. Observe how you act within the comments when we're doing the live chats and everything. And then maybe somewhere along the line, I can, I don't know, make like a survey or something for those who are interested, and you can answer particular questions. And then I will have a select group of people who can be helpful moderators or the main moderators, because honestly, it's going to be a lot. So I probably won't be the main moderator, but I will do some moderation. But I like it and I want to do it. So I'm not saying we're going to start it in January, but we're going to look more into it in the new year. So I just wanted to give that quick update because I thought it was actually pretty nice. So then the next thing I want to talk about, for those of you who may not have seen my post, the official 2026 reading schedule is up. Okay. And it's for at least the first half of the year. Now, mind you, all of the 4 books that were chosen and the order you guys chose within the votes, none of them are completed yet. So that means they're going to still be releasing throughout the year, which means at certain points I may put down one series and go to the next one because the book has released or whatever the case may be. So it's definitely for the first half of the year, but it's going to go throughout more than just the first half of the year. So as far as those books are concerned, let me go ahead and tell you what they are. We have Ballad of Sword and Wine by Tang Juqing, How to Survive as a Villain by Yi Yi Yi, or as I like to say, Yi 4. Okay. And then Legend of Exorcism by Fei Tian Yexiang, or Chicken Guga, and Kaleidoscope of Death by Xi Zixu. And that is going to be the order. Now, the books that are under consideration, depending on how much time we have, because technically I read 2 books a month, which means we have 24 books that we can read in the year. Depending on how the schedule goes and everything, one other book could be added to the list, possibly, but it will probably go into like even 2027. So it's either, I'm thinking between Case File Compendium by Zhou Babuchiro or Meatbun, Run Wild by Saye, or Everyone Loves Cannon Fodder by Qiezai Shanyang. Haven't read any of those, but those are under consideration, just picking one of those to also be for next year. We'll see, depending on, I guess I have to do like a prediction of how many books of each of the confirmed series will be released by the end of the year, and that'll let me know. Because if we reach 24, then nothing else is being read. And technically, it's probably really more like 22 books a year that will be read, because twice a year, I'd like to go on a vacation for a week. So that would be 2 weeks vacation for me. Anyway, I think that is officially it. So yeah. With that being said, I just want to reiterate that Patreon is no longer going to be so far ahead of you guys, an entire week. They're only going to be 48 hours ahead of you. So this is going to be an interesting experience. We're going to see how this is going to work out and everything. But while the Patreoners will be getting the first reading of the first few chapters of Yu tomorrow, that means technically you guys will be getting them on Wednesday. Yes, on Wednesday. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to say. If you guys have any questions or comments, things you would like clarified, or even other ideas that you all may have for the YouTube channel or the Patreon, you are always welcome to put them in the comments. And, you know, I like to take you guys' suggestions into consideration and then truthfully tell you what I feel like I can and cannot do, or what I do and do not want to do. Shoot, is there anything I missed? Oh, the last thing I will say is just when you look at the official reading list, but I'm saying it here now, I do know that there is smut in Qiangjingju and Legend of Exorcism. So, of course, you guys know how those chapters will go. They will be filtered unless you're on Patreon. Anyway, now I'm officially done. I won't say anything else. Okay. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day or have a lovely night. And 我爱你们.